So gonna get fired up today with some more teardown here. We gotta start with cutting this raggedy old hose for this fuel tank so I can drop this fuel filler neck off of here. They gotta get under here and drop down this protector cover deal on the bottom of this fuel tank, and we'll get the fuel tank out of it. Be pretty close to having it torn out at that point. Gotta go through and clean off some little plastic clips and things like that. But just gotta get in here and gotta get everything off this frame and get it cleaned up and ready to wipe it down and scuff it up and get ready to put some etch and some kind of paint substance on here.
Oh, man. So, take a look at this bad boy. So, I've spent an hour or so every day this week scraping on the inside of this frame and the outside of this frame, trying to kind of get it all cleaned up. You know, it had that, I don't know, that stupid goo on it that Ford and GM use to coat their frames from the factory, which, I mean, when they're new, I mean, it does do a good job of protecting the frame and keeping it from rusting. But, man, if you have to do any work at all to these frames, it is just a mess. This stuff is like grease. It gets on everything. If you put any heat to it, it melts, it smears, and it just makes the worst mess ever. And on this frame, you know, it had worn off in a lot of places, and you had surface rust coming in here and there. So I went over and I scraped everything off of it, the dirt and the debris and the dirt dauber nests and all of that crud that I could get off. So now I'm going to go over with some, what is that stuff called? Xylene. And I'm going to try to kind of just wipe her clean. I got to blow it off real good and then kind of wipe her off real good with Xylene and clean off whatever random debris is left. And then will be time to start kind of covering some things up around here and get some undercoating and some paint after this bad guy. Look at that bad boy. So, took a while. I didn't show you all of it. When I was putting the undercoating on there, it's time consuming. It took a while. Now, as far as how it looks, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out looking. It's got about the right sheen that I want, and it's got a little bit of the texture. I'm not upset with that. If I had it to do over again, I would probably just use POR 15 on it. Kind of, you know, I was in the process of taking a look at these lines right here, and I kind of was messing with it around, and some diesel fuel dripped down on the frame, and kind of looked like it wiped up some of the paint maybe, or undercoating maybe, while I was messing with that. So if you get fuel or something like that on it, I don't know. It might affect this paint. It might not. I know that it won't with POR 15. Time will tell. I don't know. You know what? It may be just great and may hold up forever. I can always touch up undercoating, so that's not that big of a deal. So on to the next thing. So the next thing being this guy right here. Need to get him welded up. Now, I did go ahead. I wanted to put like I wanted to close up the front and back side of those mounts on either side there, and then under the bottom right down there. Now, that axle is like super thick. It's cold here in Tennessee. I don't know. It's like 35 outside right now. I don't know. I think it's maybe 58 in this shop right now. I guarantee you that axle is probably colder than 58. Ooh, hang on. I'll go get my little temperature thing right quick and we'll see. I'll just mosey on over here. It's in here somewhere. There it is. All right. Let's just see what the temperature is on the axle right now. It is 13.6. Why is it on Celsius? 56.5 degrees right now. So here's the thing. That axle tube is a 1/2 inch thick. So obviously I'm not going to start trying to weld this thing at 56.5 degrees. Ideally, you would want to use like an oxyacetylene torch or something to get it really good and hot. That way you're not just trying to cold start this thing, because it will affect your penetration on your weld. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ready heater in here, and I'm going to turn it on it and let it blow on it for a little bit and see if we can't get this thing warmed up some. So at least we can, I think if I can warm it up with that ready heater and then give it a little bit to kind of heat sink, let that heat kind of sink and creep all the way through it, we should be able to get a good enough hot start. Because once I start welding on it, it's going to heat that axle tube up all the way across, no problemo. So I'm going to go grab a heater and turn it on it. And then, the other thing, the little braces. So normally, you know how we do this. We make cardboard templates. I went ahead off camera. I made all these little cardboard templates right here just to I was kind of killing time waiting on paint to dry and stuff. So I went ahead and I cut them all out and everything. That way I could tie them all in. So now we just got to jump over here to the plasma cutter. I'm going to turn on my heat for that guy and let that be warming up and kind of sinking in some heat, letting it soak up and warm up in here a little bit too. And then we're going to get over on this plasma cutter and cut them bad boys out. Well, you'll notice there's a little bit of some changes got made. So I kind of spared y'all the super monotonous and time-consuming process of cleaning all of that crap and getting it to where it is right now. So basically what I did was I didn't do anything special. I just got it over here in the floor in my wash bay, and I scrubbed the hell out of it with Dawn and a red scuff pad, all these pieces, the straps, the tank itself, and I sprayed this with like some cast iron paint. I don't know, just something. I didn't want it all to be black and just be one big blob. And then I did the same thing with the skid plate with the inside of it and the outside. See, look, nice and shiny. And I just scrubbed the hell out of it with red scuff pad and got it all cleaned up good, threw a coat of paint on it. And I was in here helping my son with his radio the other night, and so I decided to go ahead and just stab it under there. So you saw me take it out, so you saw, I just did the same thing in reverse, except it was missing a bolt right there, and I went and found a bolt and put in it. So it has all 4 bolts holding it in now, and man, does that look better. After looking at that dirty brown thing under there for so long, it's very nice to see it under there and all painted up and looking nicer. So now, turn ourselves back to this guy over here. So I did go ahead and I cleaned it up with the grinder, which, as you can see, I didn't go crazy doing a whole lot. I did clean up the shape of these a little bit with my belt sander because they were kind of raggedy looking where I just rough cut them. And I knocked all the spatter and shit off of it. So it would, sorry about the cussing. So it would kind of clean up okay. Other than that, everything's all welded good and ready to go. Now the axle tubes themselves, all this area, that's pretty well cleaned up. Now the pumpkin area, got to do a little something with that. I've got me, I went over to Home Depot and I picked me up a nice little selection of wire wheels and stuff. And so I'm going to get in here with a drill and get after it with these wire wheels and see if I can just kind of clean this pumpkin up a little bit. And I'll clean the inspection plate off. I'll probably just get a red scuff pad and I'll pop that inspection plate back off, clean it real good, and go ahead and wipe out the inside of it good. And then I'm just going to come back over and spray this with some black paint. That way it's all one color and kind of protected from rust-ish. We'll see about that. I'm going to spare you watching me have to go through all that, because there again, it's monotonous and boring, and we've all sprayed spray paint, so you know what it looks like. I don't think you're going to learn anything from me. I'm not going to be reinventing the wheel with a can of spray paint. So when we come back, that dude will be all shiny and new. And then we start on the process of this pile of parts over here. I'm going to go ahead off camera and just one at a time kind of clean all this crap up and get it all looking decent again. I got the sway bar over there. I got to get some new fuel hose. That crap right there is dry rotted. Get all that stuff cleaned up and get some paint on it. That way it's ready to, when we get this axle stuck back under here, it's ready to rebuild and get this guy ready to go. So when we come back, that guy for sure is going to be shiny black. And I'll either be done with this stuff or working on it. But like I said, I'm going to do that off camera. So next time you see that stuff, it will look nicer than that. I don't know how much nicer, but it will look better than that. So I guess we'll see you in a flash. Well. I mean, it was a flash for you, but I don't know. It's been like a week and a half for me. This thing's all painted. You can see I went ahead. I got the bump stops bolted on it and kind of got it going back together a little bit. I haven't gotten crazy with it. Just kind of rolled it, put it back on the skateboard and rolled it back onto here. You can see the inspection plate's not back on it yet. Got that. That dude is ready to stick under there and final build. I've been working on lots of the other pieces. You can see them right here. There's our sway bar end links and the holders and the brake dust covers, and you can see the brake parts off of the backing plates right there. I did find that one of the calipers had that needs to be replaced. The boot around the cylinders on it was busted, so I got to go buy another one of those for $100. But I brought you back right now in the midst of the painting process for this thing right here. I don't know what that combo weighs right there, because it's like a wheel hub that's bolted to a caliper, and I don't know what it weighs. It's got to be 75 pounds at least. But I have salt softener around my house, so things like the things that have bearing material and stuff like that, or bearing races, I cannot wash because they will rust and it will ruin those bearings. So in order to clean this guy, basically what I do is I get in there, like if you flip this guy over, oh man, well, okay. I can't do it with one hand. So let's see, right here, there are bolts inside, like 10 of them. They look just like those, actually. That bolt these two together, this is kind of got a chamfer on the inside that centers it inside this rotor, because inside here in the rotor, it's got brake shoes for the parking brake. So what I did is I separated, because there's no really good way to. It's a lot easier to clean it with them separated. And it's still not easy because it's a real pain in the butt, because this crap is just, it's on here. Like, there's a lot of dirt and crap on here, and it's making me nasty. It's making my shop nasty. So basically what I'm doing, I'm separating them, clean this area right here, put some tape over it so debris and stuff doesn't get into those bearings. I even knocked the studs out of the other one. I'll knock them out of this one too, because it just makes it a lot easier to clean this whole surface. And that right there, that's what I'm using. I'm using these little wire wheels that I bought from Home Depot, and just going over and just cleaning it up and getting it as nice as they actually turn out looking pretty good. Here, I'll show you what the other one looks like. We'll walk in here in the wood shop right quick. And that's what the other rotor looks like. You see, I didn't paint the surface where the pads, where they sit, because, well, that would be kind of stupid. There's one of the old calipers. This is the one I'm keeping. It cleaned up really nice. Looks good. I'm sure when I get ready to bleed the brakes, brake fluid's going to eat most of this paint off, but I'll touch it up if I can. There's the caliper holder and the other main bracket and the differential cover. You know, like I said, I didn't go just exponentially crazy trying to clean it all up, but I did want to get all the dirt off of it and try to get something on it so it looked nicer than it did. So that's what it'll look like when it's all said and done. I did just want to go and show you because just to get that guy right there ready to go, it takes me about 4.5 hours of running those stupid wheels on there to get it all cleaned off. And it looks more presentable though. I mean, it'll look a lot better. I don't want to put that stupid dirty thing on there when I spent all the time to get this all looking nice, which it's covered in dust now, but whatever. So that's just a kind of a quick recap of what's been going on. Like I said, it was a flash for you, but weeks for me. So I got this guy left to clean up and get painted, and then we'll be ready to start with the rebuild. So I guess once again, I'll see you guys in a flash.